Knicks fans are definitely going to want to know your opinion on this.
Mhm.
Let's go to the playoffs. Let's say the Knicks get through the East. Let's say they're healthy, playing at a very high level.
Yep.
Can they beat a team coming out of the West? Like, can they beat an OKC? Does anybody have a shot to beat that OKC team if they're healthy?
I thought that the Knicks would be the better matchup for OKC last year. I
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Knicks match up better than anybody with the OKC Thunder, and that has a lot to do with the way the Thunder play all the way up until the fourth quarter. I think that the Knicks do a similar thing where they play a certain way, and then they are now coming into their own where they understand at the end of this game, we're going to hand this ball to our guy, and he's going to play lucky lefty until the end of the game. If he
I
gives
love
it
it.
to us, we are they are now rolling with a confidence that they don't need the touches throughout the game. They just know and trust that he's going to trust the pass. This is not one of those things where we're seeing Jalen Brunson exhaust and then he throws a pass that just looks unaggressive. All these passes are streamlined passes, and guys know with the energy of the game, like this shot goes up, everybody in the arena knows it's going in. And when the game feels like that, I don't know. I think they have the best argument for the OKC Thunder not repeating, and that's not to take away from the Spurs because the Spurs have a big argument. The way they played them that last game that they got to see them and deliver them their first loss. I mean their second loss. Uh, I thought that it was a statement game, and it was also a y'all are gonna have to look us in the eye type of game. Like I think we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna see a little bit of a rivalry, and it got kind of chippy. So I'm excited to see that. But I think that the Knicks they have the best argument to take the OKC Thunder away from a repeat title.
And despite the victory, Knicks' odds to win the NBA championship have increased since the start of the season. At the start of the season, the team was plus 900, and now they are plus 1200 with our partners at Fanatics Sportsbook to win the NBA title. And be sure to check out the Fanatics Sportsbook app for all your NBA future bets all season long. Fanatics Sportsbook, winning hits different here. It's an interesting approach there with the odds makers. You know, are the Knicks a better or worse team now that they were earlier in the year, or is it just Oklahoma City, establishing itself as just head and shoulders above everybody? Just from a Knick perspective, I think they are showing you over the last few weeks, particularly with Josh Hart coming in the starting lineup, that they're growing, they're rowing in the right direction, but there's also room to be better. And to me, this is probably the best case scenario that you could have thought of if you were the Knicks coming into this season with a new head coach, dealing with some injuries. I mean, it seems like the way they are playing now and where they are and what they've done so far in terms of wins against some good teams recently. I mean, before the cup stuff, maybe you could have said they played a soft schedule, which was accurate. But now, San Antonio beating Toronto, beating an Orlando team that had your number earlier in the year. They have some quality wins against quality competition. So I would assume, I'm not an odds maker, but I would assume it's just a product of OKC establishing its dominance in the regular season. But look, Iman Shumpert, if you're watching this now and you didn't hear it, rewind a little bit and go back to what he said about the Knicks and the Thunder. Made some interesting points about that potential matchup. Anyway, that's stuff for way down the line. Certainly not something that's relevant here in mid to late December. What is relevant is your questions. And so we're going to get to some of your questions. The Talkback segment that we know and love with our friend Matt Spendley, the big Spends social media extraordinaire. I think he sneezed. I'm not sure if that was a sneeze. If it was, God bless you.
It wasn't a
Matt, how are
sneezing.
you?
It's just always hectic in the SNY office. I'm doing fantastic, Ian. How you doing?
I'm so happy to see you, man. So happy to
Yes,
see
you
you.
as well. Great to hear from Shump too, right? I mean, getting all
Yeah.
misty-eyed thinking about that Knicks team.
And
It
that
was great to
putback
hear from him.
dunk, man.
Yeah, one of my favorites. All right, let's get into a few topics. I want to start
Sure.
off the bat with your reporting, the story that you broke about the Knicks not hanging a banner at MSG after winning the NBA Cup. So let's start there. Why do you think, or let me rephrase, why did they
Mhm.
decide to do that? And then I would also like your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think a large part of it was the idea that they're what was said to me was a source that they're focused on bigger goals. They're focused on June, winning then, and they don't want to diminish the title. They respect the title. They're going to celebrate the title on Friday when the Knicks come back home, and they're going to give the fans a chance to celebrate the players. They're proud of the players, but they see it as not something that's their primary focus right now. And at the end of the day, I mean, nobody said this, but it's not worthy of a banner in those rafters. That's the conclusion that they obviously came to. And I'm not a big opinion guy. Certainly don't tell anybody how to think about anything they're seeing on the floor. But I had a pretty strong opinion on this one in terms of it not needing to be up there. The banner did not need to be up there. Look, if you accomplish a division championship, if you accomplish a conference championship over an 82-game season, yes, the banners go up then. I understand that. But this is not that. I think the idea is fantastic. I like the idea of the cup. I like bringing out competitive play in regular season games in ways maybe you wouldn't see the competitive play at the level that you're seeing it if there was no cup. I like the idea of the tournament and the money going to players, particularly guys maybe at the end of the rotation, and they're getting a significant payday if they're getting $500,000, $200,000, whatever it is. The banner, I think, is a step too far. So I have to applaud the Knicks here in this decision. I thought it was the right one. I know people see it differently. Matt, how do you see it? What do you think? Was this right call, wrong call? What do you think?
I would have had no issue if they did it. I understand why the previous two winners have done it. I respect the decision as well. Like you said, I like the reasons behind it, that they have bigger goals. I think this is a team that fully expects, to be there in June. That's their expectation. I have no problem either way. I think if you would have asked me, I would have preferred they don't do it because it feels like hallowed ground. It feels special. And it wouldn't feel quite the same having that up there with the banner. So if you were to ask me, wouldn't have done it, but didn't have a big issue either way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is why we love an Ian opinion. We hold on to them and we cherish them because when we get them, they're always on point.